Hello, Jeff. It is Tuesday. Tuesday. While feminism and gender issues are huge and important topics that I do love discussing, I don't want them to turn into the only thing that we talk about from now on. So instead of addressing comments and such in regard to my last video directly, instead I wanted to talk about what those and other YouTube comments often remind me of. Argument is a word that has been diminished by constant abuse and misuse for a long time now. Of course, the captain of all mistreated words is still the word theory, which, even though there are any number of places you could go on the internet or in meat space to gain a better understanding of what a theory means in a scientific context, people continue to use the term not only to discredit scientific research, but also to attempt to elevate pseudoscientific and/or religious ideologies. But back to the word argument. It has the exact same problem, but it might actually be a little bit more pervasive. When most people think about argument, they seem to be thinking of a shouting match, like an argument in a relationship or an argument in politics. The argument as filibuster. Dig your heels in, repeat your points, and just ignore those other people whom you've already decided are wrong anyway. That's not an argument. That's an echo chamber. Good, solid arguments should always begin with questioning your own perspective and beliefs, as well as the sources you have chosen. What might you be missing? What else could the information you find mean, aside from what you take from it? And how diligently are your sources asking themselves these sorts of questions? For example, I'll go ahead and use one of the comments from my last video, because somebody dropped a pile of statistics on my doorstep, and just seeing it there with no context to keep it warm really just tugs on that part of me that produces emotions. 93% of workplace deaths are male, 3/4 of suicides are male, 80% of homeless are male, 3/4 of murder victims are male, 2/3 of victims of violence in general, even when rape is included, are male. Yeah, patriarchy. But so what? I mean, what do those numbers mean? I'll just look at the first one, because as I said, I really don't want to turn this into a back and forth thing forevermore. So 93% of workplace deaths are men. Okay, wow, that's actually almost accurate. Bureau of Labor Statistics stats from 2011 have actually bumped men down to 92% of workplace deaths. So, you know, women are gaining ground there. But how do those numbers relate to the argument from my last video? Which was essentially that patriarchy doesn't mean all men benefit from everything all the time, that it's bad for men and women and everybody, and a lot of other things. It was really long. You can just go look at the thing. The answer is they don't, or at the very least they certainly don't defeat my argument, because numbers on their own don't really mean anything. I would respond by saying that a patriarchal, male-dominated framework on society actively discourages women from pursuing dangerous, more physically involved careers, and often even shames those who choose to do so anyway. So you see, that's how we argue. I listened to what you said, thought about it, and I responded based on my own observations and my own ideas and my framework of looking at things. Even though, yeah, I mean, those numbers are very troubling. On a lot of levels, actually, if you investigate them a bit deeper. Seriously, read about who is dying from what at workplaces. It gets pretty dark. I want fewer men dying in the workplace because I want fewer people dying in the workplace. Patriarchal social constructions are a major contributor to problems like this. Though, of course, workplace safety standards, inspections, and compliance should be addressed as a primary concern, though I kind of thought that the discussion of those issues would be a little bit longer and louder and more productive after the Deepwater Horizon spill back in 2010, but I guess not. Our ideologies are important to us, but they're always muddying things up. Often people will hear terms like feminism and patriarchy, or liberal and conservative, pro-life, pro-choice, secular, religious, gun control, Second Amendment, etc., etc., and just dig in and start shouting repetitions of their own point of view like it's a prayer to protect against evil. What it comes down to is simple. In an argument, you have to listen to what the other side is saying. Not what you think they're saying, and not what you're afraid they'll be saying later, but what they are saying, and why they say they are saying it. Otherwise, we're left with a society full of people just shouting at each other in the dark, instead of discussing ideas for how to light up the night. See you in the future.
They will see you in the future. They are driving.